city in Texas they have, but they recently built a house there. So I know he's been looking to get back to that state for a little bit. So I think that's why San Antonio was the destination, which that team is going to look crazy.
Oh my God. I mean, you look at the Spurs, and if for no other reason for the Warriors needing to make a deal, the Spurs are another team now that the Warriors have to improve to stand a chance against. Like I even look at the Kings as a team that the Warriors will not beat as currently constructed. As weird as they are structured, where they I don't know who their point guard is. The
Yeah, it would
Kings have
probably
to
be
make
Malik Monk now.
which is kind of weird, but also kind of makes sense. I actually kind of like that. Malik Monk is their point guard. But my point is, I think the Warriors, if they played the Kings in, let's say, a plan, they're getting their asses kicked. The Kings are a better team. The Warriors have to make a move. And we welcome Ryan Leong to the show, joining us live from Chase Center. How are you doing, Ryan, and your immediate reaction to a big win for the Warriors tonight? The Orlando Magic, I know they're 3 games under 500 now. They've been dealing with injuries all year, but still, this was not a gimme for the Warriors, and they pull off a 104-99 victory. Great to see you, man. Your reaction to the Warriors win?
No, it's great. I mean, the Warriors desperately needed a win. I mean, they're just at a point now where any win is a good win for them. So the fact that they could actually beat a team that's, around the same record as them, which isn't great, but hey, it doesn't matter. You got to get W's any way you can get them.
Exactly. Yeah, you're going to take those wins when they come. Again, you can follow Ryan Leong on Twitter at Ryan Leong. Ryan, you work for NBC News Radio and Bay Area Sports Wrap, among many publications. In the chat, this question I feel like now is a good time to bring up, if you folks don't mind. And that's Carson Taylor dropping another $4.99, bringing up Kevin Durant, who Brett Siegel of Clutch Points reported that the Warriors, I believe, reached out to the Suns to initiate a conversation about KD. I don't know how you make that trade happen, given KD's making like $50 million. I'm going to look that up right now. But Sophia, I'll start with you. The idea of KD is awesome, but what if the Suns ask for Kuminga? I would not agree to that. To me, that is a one-sided trade. Kevin Durant's 37, or he's turning 37. You see what the Suns are with Kevin Durant. They're no better than the Warriors. The both teams are lingering in that play-in level. I love Kevin Durant on the Warriors, but if you're asking for Kuminga, Kuminga's only making like $7-8 million, so you'd have to throw in Kuminga and most likely Wiggins and most likely a lot of other people. The asking price would be astronomical. Never mind the fact that I would not agree to that trade to begin with, just because, again, Durant's 37. There's no future there, and there's no guarantee of a title in the present if you make that deal. So you're giving up the future for what? Like a second-round exit? I don't subscribe to that. Sophia, what are your thoughts on Kevin Durant and the hypothetical idea of him being traded to the Warriors?
Yeah, if I'm in the Warriors front office, my thinking would be, how likely are we to get Jonathan Kuminga back? If they can actually sign him, and if Steve Kerr uses him, then I think you want to keep him. But if there's not that much hopes, then yeah, I'll take KD again.
Hell yeah. Ryan, what are your thoughts on that, man? Like, would you make that deal if the Suns asked for Jonathan Kuminga? Sorry. You're unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, so wait, you talking about JK for KD?
Well, here's the problem: is it wouldn't just be Kuminga for KD, and I'm going to look up Kevin Durant's contract right now to see what exactly he's owed. I believe it's like in the ballpark of $50 million. But it would be like, hypothetically, you'd have to include Jonathan Kuminga. Yeah, so Kevin Durant this year is making $47 million. Next year, he's owed 51, but the 47 million number is what's important, because you got to get to within 75% of that with contracts. So if you're talking Kuminga, who's making like $7 million, you still got to come up with like $35+ million in other contracts. Looney, GP2, Schroeder, even that would not be enough. So you'd have to realistically do a deal where either you're trading Draymond Green, and again, if you're doing that, you're not winning a title this year if you're giving up Draymond and Kuminga to get Kevin Durant. You could trade Wiggins. If you keep Kuminga and you trade Wiggins along with these other pieces, now we're talking. That's a conversation I could certainly have. But again, folks are asking if the Suns are demanding Kuminga, would you do it? And again, hell no for me. So with all that said, Sophia, with the numbers in place and given how astronomical the asking price would be for Durant because of the contract and the $50 million or close to that, would you make that trade?
Yeah, probably not. It would definitely have to be, and that's where I think this whole Jimmy Butler situation is so interesting because he's been trying to get out of Miami for a while. So maybe even if the Warriors worked out a 3-team trade or something to work that out, but yeah, the asking price for KD would definitely be really, really high. And it's just one of those things where you don't know. But still, like just what I said with Kuminga, there's no guarantee he's gonna stay. So
well, he's going to be a restricted free agent, though. Like, you think Kuminga would just walk?
oh, I didn't know he would be a restricted. That
Oh,
does
yeah. The
change.
Warriors,
Yeah.
they're not going to let Kuminga go. He's going to be a restricted free agent this year, meaning the Warriors can match any deal that other teams offer him. So with that knowledge, now what do you think?
Yeah, probably not. Then just because when Kuminga is on the court and he's playing really well, which I mean, hopefully he comes back soon. It's been a cool minute.
It's been a while.
The Warriors do look like a different team.
Ryan, what are your thoughts on that, man? You were just at Chase Center tonight. Sorry, I keep muting you, man. The crowd noise is pretty loud. What's going on? You have to mute it yourself.
Yeah.
What's going on?
You like how you can see me, first of all?
Yeah. Oh, because of the ring light. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes, you look good.
I guess a big difference. Yeah, I shut it off. You can't see me. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got a new toy. Congratulations.
I don't know. They're doing some stuff. They're doing some, probably season ticket holder promotions where they get to shoot a basket on the court or something. They do this a lot after most games.
Well, you're at Chase Center right now. You're in and out of locker rooms. You're talking to everybody. Are you hearing anything? Like, what's your inkling in regards to the Warriors trade scenario, man? Like, do you think they're going to make a move? And if yes, what are your guesses?
Yeah, I think they will, but it's going to be something mid-level. I don't think they're going to make a splash. They're not going to do anything crazy. I remember I even asked Kerr what he thought of the Doncic Davis trade. He wouldn't comment. He just says, "Oh, that involves two teams that aren't the Warriors, or that don't involve the Warriors." So I have no comment. and then Jamal Mosley, the Magic coach, was asked about it, and he gave a pretty long answer. I also asked Kerr in the pregame why Buddy Hield keeps starting when he's had trouble shooting, and he says back to me, he says, "I like him starting because he's a threat." And I'm thinking to myself, a threat to do what? To do nothing? To miss shots? I mean, that's what he's a threat to do. He threatened to do nothing, and he did nothing. Let's look at it real quick. Buddy Hield on the score sheet. 18 minutes, 52 seconds, 1 of 4 shooting, 0 of 2 from deep. He was a plus 15 in the net rating with 4 points. Is that a threat to you?
The net rating part for Buddy tonight was intriguing because, like you said, he was a plus 15, tied for the team lead with Andrew Wiggins. But again, the production was what, 4 points?
Yeah, 1 of 4.
He made 1 bucket and hit a pair of free throws. Sophia, what are your thoughts? I mean, Sophia, you know Buddy's game pretty well. You broke stories about him in terms of Chris DeMarco recruiting him to the Warriors. You had fantastic analysis pertaining to what you noticed has regressed in his game from that hot start. And it's I cannot emphasize enough. You're the one who first called that out. The fact that teams have adjusted their defense with Buddy Hield. Like Buddy Hield, there's that stat where if he scores 18 or more a game, the Warriors are undefeated, right? And most of those games were early in the season. And as you pointed out very astutely, Buddy Hield was scoring buckets because he was a catch and shoot player, because he was running around, burning out his defender like what Steph usually does, catching the ball at the right moment and draining an open look. And what teams have done as an adjustment to that is prevent him from getting those looks. He's not catching and shooting anymore because defenses are glued to him. And so he's been forced to make his own shot, and that has not resulted in the same productivity we saw early in the season. So what are your thoughts on Buddy constantly starting? That part of it is just crazy to me. I don't see good results coming from that on a night-by-night basis, but what are your thoughts on Buddy Hield?
Yeah, well, kind of like what you said, because defenders still respect him as a three-point shooter, they're not just going to leave him wide open. They have to stay attached, which helps to create more spacing in the floor and more gaps for other guards and people to penetrate. So that's kind of why he does help when he's on the court. However, it's you don't want it to get to a point where he shoots himself out of that role and now defenders are sagging and they are in the help and they just let him shoot.
Yeah, and that's not working out. Like productivity has dropped. What are you seeing, Ryan, with Buddy Hield? You're muted. You're muted. Sorry.
I'm seeing. I guess what I'm seeing from Buddy though, obviously, if he's got a positive 15 net rating, then he is doing something when he's not.
Tonight. That's not the norm. I just want to make that very clear. That is not the norm.
Well, overall, I'm saying that. And I feel bad because I asked her this question and he doesn't want to obviously placate me. So I'm just not going to ask anymore because what's the point? But it's funny because who's down here next to me? He's actually the corner here. Is your I guess you could say your competition. Charlie Walters here from Locked On.
Well, I don't want him on the show.
No. I'm just saying he's here.
Oh, F him, dude. Him and his wife, they're traitors, man. Anyways.
I know. Anyway,
yeah.
The point I'm getting at though is that it's hard trying to ask the same questions when we all know that Moses Moody should be starting the games, right?
Yes.
At least he's getting more minutes.
Agreed.
But man, he had a great night. He had almost 24 minutes, 17 points, 6 of 9 shooting, 3 of 5 from distance. It's funny. He had a -2 net rating, so I don't know how you compute that. But man, Moses Moody was all over the court.
Moses Moody was fantastic. And June Adolfo in the chat saying I think I highlighted this earlier, that Moody saved the game, 17 points, hit some clutch 3-point baskets in this game. It was huge. No doubt about that. Our Jonesy in the chat dropping $1.99 saying Luka Doncic is gone because the owners don't want to give him $350 million. That is so much money. I agree.
Well, there's so much money, and apparently he had really poor habits, right? I guess he was really living large. You kind of can't blame the guy. I got to admit, these guys, the world is their candy store, right? Anywhere these guys go, that's like a kid in a candy store. I got to admit, I'm an older guy now, but if I was in their situation, I would have no discipline.
Yeah.
I would be living life in excess of everything, okay? When I say everything, you know what I mean. Everything.
I think I saw a clip. It was Ryan Russillo, who's a solid basketball analyst, and so I'm stealing this from him. He said, I don't care if we saw Luka Doncic smoking cigarettes while dribbling down the court, you're still giving him that money. He's still like that guy. You figure out the nuance in terms of his health and his conditioning and his discipline. It's crazy to me that he the Mavericks just gave him away. That is insane. Yeah,
I know Ryan from working on ESPN previously. Who spells their name Ryen? Because that's how he spells his name.
Well, his parents named him that, so I don't know. You got to ask.
And then there's the other one. There's a Ryan Lindell, the kicker, Rian. Who the hell spells Ryan like that either?
Well, isn't that you?
No, mine's spelled Ryan.
What did you say?
Rian for Ryan Lindell, the kicker. Rian.
Oh, like Rian Johnson, like the Star Wars guy. Yeah. Or is Ryan? I'm sorry. I don't know, man. Yeah, there's a lot of peculiarities in this world. A lot of chats too. I want to try to get to all of these. AC. Writing that the game started to fall apart when Kerr played 4-guard lineups. I know that's the part that I just don't get. 4-guard lineups are insane. Jacob Pena, and I'd love to have all of us answer this, is writing, would you give up Jonathan Kuminga for Cam Johnson if that is the way to just give the Nets a first-round pick? No. And look, I'll repeat this again. We finally had a decent sample size from Jonathan Kuminga in the month of December. Okay. He played every game that month, or I believe so. He played 13 games, averaged over 30 minutes a game. So we're talking like a month-long sample size where he's actually getting minutes. Okay. That's never happened before, where he's averaged 30 minutes or more in a stretch that big. For some perspective, rookies normally play 35 plus minutes a night. Kuminga is now in year 4, still struggling to get minutes. So he finally, like Stephen Curry, for example, he didn't put up big numbers until year 4 of his career. And his rookie season, he averaged 36 minutes a night. You have to play kids so they develop, so you can see what they have. Them sitting on a bench watching is never going to be the best methodology for teaching, coaching to get the best results. Now, with all that said, in the month of December, Jonathan Kuminga, 30 plus minutes a game, 21 points a game, 6.3 rebounds per game, 35% shooting from three. His field goal percentage has always been exemplary. Turnovers are low. He even started to hit his free throws. My point is, we finally saw a month where he actually got minutes, which is what young players need, and he delivered. So no, I don't want to trade him. At a bare minimum, the value he brings as being as young as he is, with the potential as high as it is, I'm not giving him up for Cam Johnson when you don't have to give him up for Cam Johnson. So that's my take on it. Sophia, your thoughts on trading Kuminga for Cam Johnson of the Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't. At this point, like you said, Jonathan Kuminga, when he's on the court and he's playing well, he looks really, really good for the Warriors. And if you gave that up for Cam Johnson, I don't really think that would make the Warriors better. I think you just have to really grow Kuminga in this program and or the organization. And like you said too, just get him minutes. The more minutes and the more in confidence that is instilled in him, the better he'll be able to take off.
Ryan, your thoughts, man? Go ahead. I can't unmute you. I'm sorry.
Hey, hold on. Sorry, what was the question again?
Would you trade Kuminga for Cam Johnson?
No. I still think Kuminga has so much potential upside. I can't see. No. He needs more minutes. Again, he's another guy that's not playing enough. He's not getting enough minutes. And he was starting to get minutes when he got hurt. So
now vintage Mr. J. I hope I got that right. Dropping $5. Thank you for the extra penny. $5 just looks a lot better. There's like a I like the round number instead of the $4.99. Anyways, vintage dropping $5, asking, saying what's up to all of us. He wrote this, Ryan, before you got here, saying, what is up with the Jimmy Butler trade attempt? And we covered this a little bit on yesterday's show, but I didn't have you two here, so I'd love to discuss this. Brian Windhorst reported, Brian Windhorst, a.k.a. Windy of ESPN. Sophia just went black there for a second. I'm guessing someone's calling you. Is that what it is? I don't care. Who cares? What was it, a phone call? I think that's what happened last time.
I don't know why that happened.
Anyway, so Windy reported that, and this is crazy to me, that Jimmy Butler informed the Warriors that he would not sign a contract extension if he was traded to them. And my immediate thought was not, okay, Jimmy's playing games with the Warriors. He wants. My immediate thought was the Warriors are going to offer him an extension. Like, why would you want to offer Jimmy Butler an extension? I thought the entire premise of Jimmy Butler is you trade for him. It's a short-term rental. You hopefully get playoff Jimmy in the postseason this year. You hopefully make a run to get Steph his 5th title. And then you say, au revoir, adios. And what, Sophia, and then I'll go to you, Ryan. Sophia, what was your reaction to that news that the Warriors wanted to give Jimmy Butler a contract extension? He turns 36 before next season starts.
Yeah, I mean, I guess shout out to Jimmy for at least telling the Warriors that he wasn't going to do it, or else could have ended up in a poor situation. But I mean, my immediate reaction was, okay, I'm glad, I guess, if Jimmy was just going to walk, that the Warriors didn't trade away a lot for him. And I mean, from everything that I've heard and seen, also Jimmy wants like a very lucrative contract, but you have to play to get the contract.
It's crazy. And Ryan, before we get your answer on this, just to add some context and perspective here, the Phoenix Suns appear to be the team that Jimmy wants to go to, and the Suns desperately want Jimmy Butler. And there's even some reports now that they're willing to trade Durant, which I think is why there's some fuel added to the talk about the Warriors maybe getting Durant. Side note, as weird as this sounds, Kendrick Perkins, I think he just tweeted this. I don't know if he added any commentary to it on ESPN, but Kendrick Perkins tweeted that he thinks something really big is coming for the Warriors. And until this year, I don't think I ever agreed with Kendrick Perkins. Kendrick's comments this season sometimes make sense because he's been advocating a lot on ESPN, for example, that Stephen Curry is the only superstar in the NBA who doesn't have a secondary star player helping him, right? Like he's the only guy in the league who's at that level of greatness, yet has no help. And so on that front, thank you. Like Kendrick, bravo. That's a good take. But then he tweeted that recently, I think a day or so ago, that he thinks the Warriors are going to make a big move. As crazy as this sounds, I agree with him. I think before Thursday comes, there's going to be a bombshell trade dropping. I don't know who that's for. We heard Paul George's name mentioned again recently because, again, the Warriors are contacting everybody. Carson Taylor brought up LaMelo Ball. Yes, there's a report out there that the Warriors even reached out to the Charlotte Hornets to see if LaMelo Ball was available and what the price is. I think the Warriors should be aggressive and make a move for Bam Adebayo personally. I don't know if he's available, but try, right? At the bare minimum ask. What do you got? What do you two think? Like, do you think that the Warriors will make a big move? And then mentality is also asking, do you think it will happen before the Jazz game? The Warriors play the Jazz Wednesday. They play the Lakers Thursday. So there could be a news about this after the Jazz game. Who knows when it happens? But excuse me. And I'm under the weather a little bit. I apologize, folks, if I'm not my usual self here. But I do think that the Warriors are going to do something. As crazy as that sounds, as cynical as I've been about this Warriors team, maybe I'm being delusional. I don't know. Sophia, what are your thoughts? Do you think that a big trade's going to happen?
I think a trade is going to happen. It's hard to say just because I feel like everyone is still reeling from, like we said, the Luka and AD trade. So anything after is just going to seem like underwhelming. Like, oh, okay, whatever. So that kind of creates a little bit of bias. However, I do think the Warriors will make something happen. I don't know what.
What do you think, Ryan? You're an insider. You're literally an insider. What do you think? You're muted.
Sorry.
It's okay.
The guys that get the breaking news are like Shams and like, who's the other NBA guy that usually breaks the big news besides Shams?
Well, and lately, I think it's just Shams. I mean, it was him and Woj. And
Woj, I think Woj retired, yeah. So
it's just Shams is a monopoly on.
Because here it is, you got all these guys that are here covering games, whether it's Monty Poole or Dalton Johnson, Anthony Slater with the Athletic, and yet Shams is like sending stuff out to other people just because I think it's an ESPN partnership or whatever. And so a lot of times those guys aren't even breaking the news. I still don't think the Warriors are just gonna make a big move. I don't see it. I could be totally wrong and something happens, but I just don't see it happening. I don't know. It seems like the Warriors are going to do something. They almost remind me too much of like the San Francisco Giants. They just do something mid-level.
I know.
Right? You know,
and that's not a good thing. That's
what you're. A good thing. But it sounds like a good thing
at all.
But it sounds like it's like more of the same, right?
Yeah,
more of the same.
I pray that is not the direction.
I hope I'm wrong. It'd be great if I'm wrong.
I hope you're wrong. And Sophia, in case you're unfamiliar with what Ryan's alluding to, the San Francisco Giants have become like and it's not anything new. They've been doing this like since forever, where they hype up players, they make you think they're going to trade for someone and make this big splash, and then nothing happens year after year after year. They lowball payrolls. They're like a ridiculously filthy rich organization, but they act like they're broke. If the Warriors follow that path, I'm just going to vomit. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to puke all over this mic and this table right here.
That would make for some good content. You should do that on a podcast. That'd be great.
In live, yeah.
That'd be a good visual.
What do you two, Sophia? I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on where's the chat? Because here it is. Zion Williamson. I feel like if you're gonna take a swing, he would be the most interesting one because best case scenario is a title. I fervently believe, like, if you get Zion and let's say you get a focused, a disciplined, someone whose entire focus is just work, improving the body, being a part of the team. If you get the best version of Zion, that's a title team, and you have a future there because Zion's only 25 years old. Unfortunately, there's a downside. We all know the downsides. Diet, nightlife, you name it. Sophia, would you like Zion to the Warriors? Is that an intriguing move? Would that be a foolish move? What are your thoughts on trading for Zion Williamson?
like you said, best case scenario could be a championship contender team. But then you said the if. And that if holds a lot of weight in
Yes.
what Zion the Warriors would get. And I mean he's not a rookie anymore. He's this is a couple years now that he's been in the league, and it would really have to be a monumental shift in how he approaches the game. Maybe a change of scenery does help. You never know. However, he is just too unreliable of a player right now and hasn't really done much for New Orleans after being there for so long.
Ryan, what are your thoughts on Zion to the Warriors? Intrigued? Hell no. What do you think?
Nah, sorry, I'm not sold. Guy gets hurt too much.
Well, who do you think would be the better option? Sophia, I'll ask you first. Zion or Jimmy Butler?
Gosh. Um, Zion. I mean, if I gotta choose one, then I would say Zion, just because he's younger and there's more upside as opposed to Jimmy Butler, who's older and on the back end of his career. Yeah, so I would say Zion, and because he's big, he can provide some interior presence.
California Silk saying, I'd rather have LaMelo Ball than Zion Williamson. I mean, who knows if LaMelo's available? But the Warriors did reach out. What would you take, Ryan? Jimmy Butler or Zion? Which would have more upside?
Zion.
Okay.
I mean, why? But why are we still talking about Jimmy Butler? He already said he would say no to an extension. Doesn't that basically rule him out?
Well, because on one hand, it should rule him out, and that's what the reports are saying. But you then have follow-up reports saying maybe this is a leverage play. Maybe Jimmy's saying this to try to motivate the Warriors to act faster or to have the Warriors.
You don't want that guy.
I
don't want that guy.
A lot of people feel that way.
I'm telling you, I've dealt with the guy. I mean, I've seen him in post-game interviews. The guy's a pain in the ass.
Is he a dick?
Yeah. Well, he's not. Okay. He's not a full-on dick, but he's a diva. You want a diva on this team?
He's a diva. I agree.
He's a bigger diva than KD. If people thought KD was a diva, and KD was not a diva compared to Jimmy Butler. Okay, that's what I'll tell you right now.
That's right.
No, it's not. It's not rough. I mean, I think KD's a pretty stand-up guy. In fact, I just posted on my Bay Area Sports Rap YouTube. It's a couple of days old, but I have a full interview from when they played here on Friday, and I think he's a very gracious interview.
Good stuff.
So if the viewers want to watch that later, that's why I'd recommend going on our Bay Area Sports Rap YouTube page to watch that.
Look at you scoring exclusive interviews with Kevin Durant.
No, it's not exclusive. I was not the only person in there, but I'm just I did post
still, man. That's awesome. That's a good humble brag. I like that. It's oh my God, it's Manny in the chat asking, can the Warriors get Paolo Banchero? No, the Magic would not trade him. There are certain players that teams will not broach, and Manny also being very complimentary. Thank you, saying that. Trade Kerr for me for coach. Look, if I was ever going to be involved in basketball, it would be more in a front office type thing. I just don't think I'm 5'10", which I know is like average height, but in the NBA, I am a hobbit. Although I guess maybe I would fit in with the Warriors. Huh? I guess if Steve Kerr's
you're taller than Muggsy Bogues.
No, thank you for the compliment. That's very kind of you. But there are a lot better candidates for being a head coach than me. But thank you. Are we ready to go WNBA? Have we tapped out everything Warriors? What we haven't done, and I'll leave this. I'll make this a democratic decision here. Who is tonight's player of the game? Is it Andrew Wiggins, who scored 25 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists? This is okay. Real quick, because I've thought of this right now, I want to ask you too. Andrew Wiggins, who's been starting as the team's power forward for most of this homestand, a decision which is just mind-boggling to me, but it's Steve Kerr's world, and we're just living in it. The rebounding numbers have not been exceptional. Tonight's another example of that, 2 boards. I remember people constantly harping on Kuminga, saying he needs to get more rebounds, and then in the month of December, he played 13 games, averaged over 30 minutes, and he grabbed 6.3 boards, and he's up to, I think, 5 rebounds a game. Wiggins, on the other hand, has not been exemplary when it comes to rebounding. Case in point, on the season, and I'm pulling the number up right now. I apologize for not having it available, but Andrew Wiggins on the year is averaging 4.6 rebounds per game. Is that satisfactory to you, Sophia, or should he be grabbing more rebounds?
See, and that's when he's at the power forward position and he's constantly battling for these rebounds against a taller opponent, that's where I can understand why his rebounding numbers are a little low right now. But if he was consistently playing at like the regular shooting guard position, like that's his position, then I would definitely expect that number to be around like at least like maybe 7 a game, honestly. Because he's extremely athletic, so he can get up there and grab anything that comes off.
Agreed. And again, I bring this up because I see that on a routine basis. His rebounding numbers are just, they're paltry. Ron, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I know to some degree, I would actually defer to Sophia's basketball expertise here, because Sophia, you play a lot of basketball, right?
Yeah.
I didn't play a ton. I mean, I played
Ryan,
back in the day from grade school, but
Sophia was where you're starting, right? Starting point guard for the San Jose State Spartans, dude.
Not starting. My ACLs kind of said no to that one.
Oh well, you were still a point guard for a D1 school, Sophia. Don't sell yourself short. That's you should brag about that. That's a big
sometimes
deal.
Starting, I guess I can say.
Oh, there you go.
So Sophia, you think if he's playing at the shooting forward position, that he should average about 7 rebounds a game?
At the shooting guard.
Oh, shooting guard. Okay.
Yeah.
But he's been at the 4, and I just remember like when the 2022 postseason, which is when Wiggins won the hearts of a lot of people who still want him. He was grabbing close to 10 rebounds a game in that entire postseason. So he has it in him, but he's just not producing at that level this year. Who is our player of the game tonight? Is it Andrew Wiggins? Side note, by the way, a couple people in the chat, JR included, was asking about Miles. Not Miles. I'm sorry. What's his first? Is it Miles?
Yeah.
Miles Turner? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Miles Turner of the Pacers. Thank you. Sorry. Again, I'm not feeling good tonight. I apologize. I don't think the Pacers are going to move him. I would love him on the Warriors. I think he's actually a perfect fit in terms of being a stretch 5. You know, he's much better defensively than Nikola Vucevic, another player who the Warriors still can make a move for. I mean, I'm not going to pretend that would be a bad move. Do something, please. But Miles Turner, again, ideal, but not realistic. Sophia, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, that would be a great person if we can get him. But like you mentioned, I'm a little doubtful that the Pacers would be willing to get rid of him.
Yeah, I agree. Ryan, what are your thoughts on Miles Turner, man? Any hope there? I think you interviewed him recently too, right? I could be wrong.
I can't remember. They all run together. Seriously. They all run together, man.
I believe you. But what are your thoughts on Miles Turner of the Warriors? Would you like it?
I mean, yeah, it sounds like it'd be a nice pickup, but I mean, again, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Like I said, the Giants, they just do such a San Francisco Giants way of thinking when it comes to their acquisitions. I just think he's like the one thing that the Warrior fans all know and know what the team needs is what the team won't get.
Yeah, that guy bringing up that Wiggins was actually averaging the same regular season rebounding numbers as he did in 2022. There's a huge difference though. In 2022, he wasn't your starting power forward, and that's what we're seeing. Although I guess tonight he was back at the 3 because Draymond came back, so maybe tonight was a little more excusable. But his role is very different from that season to now. That team had size.
Bonte Hill staring at me, yelling at me from up top.
What is he saying?
Focus. No, he's telling me focus. Congratulations, dude. Your new gig. Yeah, I know. You're just doing more of it. That's all.
That's right, Leon, talking to Bonte Hill. All right, so player of the game, either Andrew Wiggins, 22, who scored 25 points, Stephen Curry, who scored 24 points tonight, adding 5 assists, 2 rebounds. Did have the 2 of 12 shooting from deep, which is blemish. And then Moses Moody is our third candidate, 17 points, 3 of 5 shooting from 3. Sophia, who's our player of the game? Brought to you by Dog Fantasy.
Is it just on me, or I thought it was going to be a group?
It's democratic. I'm going to get your vote. I'll get Ryan
first.
And then
you first.
Yeah.
I would go with Andrew Wiggins just with the way that he set the tone this game with his level of aggression. I mean, he got to the free throw line. What do we say? He made 10 free throws, so he got there a lot, getting to the paint. So I think that the way that he came out was the most influential.
Ryan, what do you think?
I'll give it to Moody only because I thought certainly Wiggins takes it as far as his stat line. His stat line is impeccable, right? Because you have all those things going on plus the net rating. Whereas Moody, he didn't have a good net rating, but he came off the bench and every time he touched the ball and he shot the ball, it almost always went in, and that ignited the crowd. I mean, they were like he ignites the crowd almost every time he's on the floor and he does something.
Dude, this is a tough one. So this comes down to me. So Wiggins shot 66% from the free throw line. That's bad. Wiggins shot 1 of 5 from deep. That's bad. Wiggins was a plus 15. That's good. Wiggins had 25 points to lead all scorers. That's good. The 2 assists, 2 rebounds. And then Moses Moody, meanwhile, 17 points, third on the team, and those were clutch. 3 of 5 from deep. That's good. 6 of 9 shooting from the field. That's good. He shot 50% from the free throw line. Not good. And he was a -2 in terms of net rating, although that's a tough one because you can't really blame Moses Moody for that when he was, playing alongside other bench players, a lot of whom just were not stepping up tonight. Woo! I'll lean with Wiggins. Because yeah, it's the net rating and the points. That's a tough one. Congratulations to Andrew Wiggins for being our player of the game. Jacob Pena in the chat brought up Sophia or wanted to ask your thoughts, Sophia, on the Indiana Fever and their recent transactions. Let's switch it up. And by the way, real fast, that guy, great handle. Congratulations and thank you for being a new Golden Dazer. $2.99. Your chats will now be highlighted, and we'll take notice. That's one of the main perks of that, in addition to just being a Golden Dazer. Thank you for the love and support. Going back to Jacob Pini's question about the Indiana Fever, Sophia, your thoughts, and update the audience, myself too, please, because I follow along thanks largely to you.
Yeah, from the WNBA free agency starting, I think they've been one of the clear winners so far. Their biggest move was signing Dewana Bonner to a contract, and Dewana Bonner, she's coming in as a WNBA champion. She's a veteran. She's 4th all-time leading scorer for the WNBA. So she's coming in with a lot of accolades and experience, and she played at the Connecticut Sun last season under Coach Stephanie White. Coach Stephanie White is now the head coach of the Indiana Fever, so she already knows the coach. She'll play off of her well, and I think having that veteran presence, and especially she's very long and lanky, that will definitely pair well with Caitlin Clark. So they signed her. I thought that was a huge move. They also got Sophie Cunningham and Natasha Howard from trades. Again, just really solidifying the Fever's defense, which I think that was one of the only things that they really lacked last season. I think the Fever made some really, really strong offseason moves.
There you go. Bravo. Caitlin Clark is probably loving hearing you. Ryan, I saw you message. They're tearing down the media section?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll say bye to you before we get to the scoreboard. And if you want, we'll keep the stream going for Bay Area Sports Wrap. To recap what happened in the NBA. I need you two, before you go, Ryan, I need both of you to give me some advice here because I don't understand what this means. Red Black in the chat is saying that I'm being put in the Christmas list and they can't believe it. What does that mean? I have no clue what that is a reference to. Red Block. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? What's going on here?
I'd have to look that up. I don't even know what that means. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either. What did I do? What's going on here? Do I want to be on the Christmas list? Is that a bad thing? Like, can I correct whatever I did wrong so I'm not on the Christmas list? I don't know if I want to be on the Christmas list.
Well, one thing I looked up, at least AI says a Christmas list is a list of people or things that someone wants to give or receive at Christmas.
Oh, so it's a good thing.
Sounds like it.
Oh, well then, Red Block, thank you. All right, well then we're good. Okay, so my anxiety's gone. All right, I feel like crap right now. So thank you for making me feel a little less crappy as I'm under the weather here. Ryan, final thoughts, brother. I know you got to go, man. First of all, why are they closing the media section down? Is there a concert coming? Like, what's going on there?
It could be, and then they're also like going to be gone for a while. The team's going on the road.
Oh, good
So
call.
probably, yeah.
Good
And
call.
I think then they'll set up for the All-Star game. And who knows? They're probably going to set up things differently. I don't know. Obviously. So,
Starbird Park is saying I'm paranoid. What do you mean I'm paranoid? Are you looking at me? Are you talking about what's going on here? I'm paranoid. Jesus Christ! Are other people thinking that too? Oh my God! It's a bit, folks. Relax. I was acting paranoid. Get it? It's a bad joke if I have to explain it. I apologize. No, I'm not paranoid. In reality, it's all a bit, folks. 95% of anything that you think is actually being dramatic happening here is just me messing with you folks. Relax. All right. So Ryan, final thoughts again. I'm sorry if I asked you that already. Again, I feel like crap right now.
no, I mean, good win for the team. I mean, obviously, Warriors going on the road. I can't even keep track of where they're heading next. So Utah, right? Utah and then LA. So Utah, LA, Bulls, Bucks, Mavericks, Rockets. So they go on this long road trip leading up to the All-Star break. So, I mean, I'd like to see them win as many of these games as possible. Kind of a no-brainer, So we'll see.
I like it. All right, man. We'll drive safe home tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contributions. You can follow folks.
And
can follow
the
Ryan Leong.
and the light, you can see me.
And the ring light, yes, much better. And again, Ryan joins us live from Chase Center. That is, in fact, the parquet and the stands of Chase Center right behind him. That beautiful arena. The boos were not needed tonight because the Warriors were competitive. So good job, Golden State. And good job, Ryan. Folks, again, can follow you on Twitter at Ryan Leong. Bay Area Sports Wrap is the name of the show that you host, along with a few other individuals. And you posted a Kevin Durant interview there. Folks, go check that out. Ryan, final question for you before you go.
Sure.
Wednesday, the Warriors play the Utah Jazz in Utah. Thursday, the Warriors play the LA Lakers. That might be Luka Doncic's LA Lakers. What do you predict is going to happen in that 24-hour span? Are we going to get a trade? Are we going to get Steve Kerr saying I like this team?
Yeah. He's probably going to say he likes his team. But I'm hoping the Warriors will make a move after the Utah game.
After the Utah game. All right. Some folks were actually asking about that. There you go. Ryan, love you, brother. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thank
keep
you.
the stream going if you can. That'd be awesome.
Say again, what?
Keep the stream going after I sign.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Bay Area, for the Bay Area Sports Wrap audience, you will get the scoreboard and more of the delightful Sophia Jones as we wrap up the show. Ryan, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it as always, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, Sophia.
Take it easy. That is Ryan Leong as we start to wrap it up. Sophia, any final thoughts? Is there anything we missed in terms of this Warriors game tonight? I thought one interesting stat that stuck out to me. Sorry to ask you a question and then start talking, but I do that largely because I don't want to forget. But I do want your final thoughts. And I thought one thing that was really efficient and effective for the Warriors tonight was keeping Franz Wagner off the boards. He only had 3 rebounds tonight total. So for the critique that I give Andrew Wiggins having only 2 rebounds, if he was also doing a great job boxing out, bravo, good job on that. Any final thoughts about this Warriors game? Anything you feel like we've missed before we wrap the show up with standings and the scoreboard?
I think we all about covered it. I guess my final thought would just be I'm glad that they got this one. They need all the wins just right now, as many as possible. And especially before going on this road trip, it'll be nice to kind of at least close out the homestand with a win.
Yeah. I like again, Quentin posted and put up big numbers. 7 points, 7 rebounds, was 1 of 4 from deep. The 1-3 made was timely and it looked good. But despite the numbers being, a mixed bag, 20 minutes, 26 seconds, I thought it was fantastic. I like this kid, Sophia. What's your take on Quentin Post? Like a huge reason why I've simmered down on the Nikola Vucevic talk is because they have someone almost exactly like him on the team now. They just have to give him minutes. And it's why I personally feel like Cam Johnson would be the wiser move in terms of a trade. But what do you think about everything I just said?
Yeah, I've been liking him. I think he does a good job of stretching out the floor, and you can tell that he is well versed in like what the Warriors like to do within the flow of their offense. He pushes tempo. He's not a slow big. He runs the floor, which I love seeing. Um, Yeah, and I'm just glad he's getting minutes and he's getting experience and reps. I really think the more of that he can get, the better it'll be. Because even from the first game that he came in until now, I feel like we've seen some improvement.
Yeah, agreed. And hopefully we get some more minutes. I like the kid. I don't remember. Guy Santos didn't play much. He only played 2 minutes 27 seconds tonight. When we talk about those Buddy Hield minutes, that's where I wish it went instead. I like Guy or Gooey. Someone in the audience the other night, Sophia, called him Gooey, and that kind of stuck. All right, let's go to the scoreboard and see what's going on. What happened tonight elsewhere in the association. A bunch of games in the mix as the Warriors, and more specifically the fan base, anxiously awaits hopefully a trade that comes soon. Let's get some music going for this, Sophia, as we start to wrap it up. We'll fly through this. All right, there we go. We're in the club. We haven't even heard from Steve Kerr yet. We'll play one clip from that as well. First things first, the Phoenix Suns. And we're going to look at the standings in just a second, but this game was very pertinent to the standings. The Phoenix Suns on the road, losing to the Portland Trailblazers, 121-119. Portland improving to 21-29. Phoenix dropping to 25-24. And games like these are why, personally, I would not trade Jonathan Kuminga for Kevin Durant. Not because I think Kevin Durant's that player. It's mostly the fact that he's going to turn 37 next year. And it's mostly the fact that as a member of the Phoenix Suns, they're not doing jack. So why would you think that him coming to the Warriors would magically transform them into this title contender, all the while mortgaging your future in Jonathan Kuminga? Side note, Kuminga only makes $7 or $8 million a year. That's a huge reason why I don't mention his name in trade innuendo a lot, because whereas Wiggins is making $26 million, you can make a lot more deals with that amount of money than with $7 million that Kuminga makes. So keep that in mind with all these trade discussions, that Jonathan Kuminga's salary hurts the Warriors' attempts to make trades. And that's one of many reasons why you wouldn't include him. But anyways, regardless, Phoenix losing to Portland tonight. Sophia, your reaction?
Good for the Warriors in the standings, I guess.
Hell yeah. Short and sweet. I like it. Elsewhere in the association, the Indiana Pacers. We talked about Miles Turner a little bit tonight. They beat the Utah Jazz in Utah, 112-111. The final, Pascal Siakam, 22 points, 6 boards. John Collins in the loss for Utah, 21 points, 12 rebounds. Utah drops to 11-37. The Pacers improve to 28-20. The Denver Nuggets taking care of business against the New Orleans Pelicans, 125-113 in Denver. The Nuggets improves to 31-19. New Orleans drops to 12-28. Nikola Jokic with another triple-double, 27 points, 14 rebounds, 10 assists in the win. Trey Murphy III, 41 points in the loss. Side note, Sophia, I would have preferred, if I was is that his name is Nico, the GM of the Mavericks. If I was Nico, I would have looked at the Pelicans before the Lakers, because if he had traded Luka Doncic to the Pelicans, you're getting back draft picks, a ton of them. You might get Trey Murphy the third. That's the part of the Luka trade that blows my mind. Your reaction?
Yeah, and that's like one of the aspects that potentially kind of does give that whole conspiracy a little bit of legs.
Yes. Yep.
Because they were so just laser focused on going to the Lakers.
Yep. Exactly right. That's just great. It's still crazy to me that trade happened. Moving along, great game tonight. The Memphis Grizzlies winners 128-109 over the San Antonio Spurs. Memphis improving to 34-16. San Antonio drops to 21-25. Jaren Jackson Jr., 31 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks in the win. Victor Wembanyama, 27 points, 10 rebounds in the loss. I don't think De'Aaron Fox made his debut. Do you know, have you heard anything about when we're going to see De'Aaron Fox make his debut in a Spurs uniform?
I have not, no.
Okay. I'm guessing it's going to be soon. I'm very curious to see that pairing. That's wild. And again, when you're looking at the Warriors and a trade, you're not beating the Spurs without doing something to because the Spurs are now a very good team. Like, that's somebody that the Warriors have to fend off now for a playoff spot. OKC manhandled the Milwaukee Bucks tonight, 125-96. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 34.6 assists in the win for OKC, who improves to 39-9. The Bucks dropped to 28-22. Ryan Rollins, former Golden State Warrior, the second round pick that Bob Myers spent some cash on to move up in the draft, the top performer by ESPN standards with 16 points in the loss for Milwaukee tonight. The Sacramento Kings coming away with a victory in their first game of the post De'Aaron Fox era, 116-114 over Minnesota in Minnesota. DeMar DeRozan, 33.7 assists in the win. Naz Reid, 30 points in the loss. Sophia, what is your reaction to the Kings now? Like you before and after De'Aaron Fox, your impression of the Sacramento Kings?
Oh, well,
is that too hard?
It's kind of ironic that Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan will be reunited in Sacramento.
Did not even think about that until just now. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think that Zach LaVine will still be solid for the Kings. I don't know about like a De'Aaron level, just because De'Aaron really grew up with the organization as well. But I think the Kings are in a situation where they just need to get some stability, especially with a new head coach and then this big trade. They need a little stability that can lead to some consistency and just having everything operate smoothly.
Yeah, it is.
And to the comment, yes, that's the same. Yeah, Nico Harrison is the same one. That
expand, Sophia, for the podcast audience who isn't seeing this chat comment. Traveling Urquidez is a Golden Dazer. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so because I mentioned earlier how Nico Harrison used to be Kobe's rep at Nike. He is supposedly the same one that didn't get Steph to sign to Nike, which led to him now having the Curry brand at Under Armour.
That is a stain on your resume. Are you friends personally with Nico?
Well, not personally, but my dad knows everyone. But
he does. That's true. I just want to be
He used to be cool. Yeah, they used to be cool.
I just don't want to be disrespectful in saying that that's a massive blemish on your resume. To lose Stephen Curry as a client to Under Armour, and yet that's exactly what happened. It's insane. I also can't believe still that the Kings just reunited Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. That's crazy to me. Yeah, that's anyways. 3 more games and we're going home. The New York Knicks, 124-118 winners over the Houston Rockets. Jalen Brunson, what a night for him. 42 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists in the win. Amen Thompson, 25 points, 11 rebounds, 11 assists. A triple-double for the youngster. This kid looks good, Sophia. Have you had a chance to watch Amen Thompson play? Because great things could be coming with this guy.
Yeah, he's so young, and on a Houston team, especially like with a John Lucas as an assistant coach, where he's so centered around player development, he could really be a good player in the league. Yeah,
absolutely. And 2 more games. Yeah. And again, I don't know Oster's twin brother. I don't know where he's at in terms of the progression, but Amen was drafted sooner. The Warriors wanted Oster, side note. They really wanted him. They tried to trade for that pick, but as is the case with the Mike Dunleavy Jr. era, they tried. They didn't actually make the trade, but they tried. The Atlanta Hawks, 132-130 winners over the Detroit Pistons. Trae Young, 34 points, 9 assists. Cade Cunningham, bravo, kid. You are emerging. 30 points, 6 rebounds, 14 assists in the loss. But Cade Cunningham is emerging. And last but certainly not least, or maybe it is least, I don't know, the Washington Wizards. 124-114 winners over the Charlotte Hornets. Is that a winning streak for the Washington Wizards? I know they beat Minnesota the other day without Anthony Edwards. Anyways, that's the Wizards improved to 8-41. Charlotte drops to 12-35. Corey Kispert, 25 points in the win for Washington. Miles Bridges, 24 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists in the loss. And looking at the standings after the Warriors win tonight, 104-99, they're still looking from the outside for the play-in. The Warriors are the 11th seed, but they're tied record-wise with this is crazy. So the Warriors, the Suns. Here, I'll show this on the screen so you can see it too. And this is ESPN's standings. So the Warriors, the Suns, and the Kings all have identical records, 25 and 25. I'm sorry, 25 and 24. And then the Dallas Mavericks are just a half game ahead of those teams at 26 and 24. Minnesota 27 and 23, a game and a half ahead of those three teams, a game ahead of Dallas, and the Clippers are currently the Clippers would be your playoff team if the season ended today. They're 28 and 21, and then the LA Lakers and the Nuggets round out your top four. The Lakers have a 4-game lead over the Warriors for the 5 seed, and the Nuggets have a game and a half lead on Denver, if that makes sense. So I guess that's it. Any final thoughts, Sophia? Are we done? Are we good?
Yeah, I think we're done. So much could still happen this season.
Crazy. And it's not even over. I mean, the trade deadline is still not here yet. It is crazy. And we'll find out if the Warriors take some action. I really hope they do. This season is salvageable. I really believe the Warriors can do something this year, but not as currently constructed. I mean, maybe they can make the plan as currently constructed. I mean, I don't know. I just hope something happens. So, coast to coast before we go. I didn't see this. I apologize. Dropped $4.99 saying the WNBA. Oh, Sophia, this might be you might be having to fight back here. Coast to coast is saying that the WNBA is not here yet till the Valkyries are in the mix. Kind of like the Dubs and the NBA. Not a fan place if they're in the playoffs. Okay, so basically he's saying that until the Valkyries are actually a real entity playing basketball games, the interest is not there. Sophia, why should Coast to Coast start following the WNBA now instead of waiting for the Valkyries to play?
Yeah, I mean, in the same way that so much stuff just happened in the NBA, like a lot of stuff happened in the WNBA with a lot of trades and off-season moves, and even with the 3-on-3 league unrivaled, it gives you a chance to look at a lot of these WNBA players just go out and hooping. So, and I mean, the season's coming up soon. It's really short, and I would think that Warriors fans would be happy to, welcome another Bay Area basketball team.
Yeah.
And have someone to root for that hopefully does well.
Jacob Pena has a question for you, Sophia. He asks what your ideal realistic trade would be for the Warriors.
Oh,
like if you were the GM, who would you, and let's say options are limitless. Like every team will say yes. You just have to make a proposal. What's your ideal trade?
My biggest priorities, I think now would be just to get someone that will be that scorer next to Steph. I mean, obviously people were throwing out that LeBron might get the Warriors. Of course, I would like LeBron. That would be dream. I don't know if that's going to happen, but if you say, a lot of people are saying yes, I do like the idea of a Miles Turner, a Cam Johnson, even more ideally a Bam Adebayo. I would love to see him on the Warriors.
Yes, chef's kiss for Bam Adebayo.
If the Heat just want to blow up the team.
Did you think, by the way, side note, that Tyler Hero was the wrong pick for the All-Star game? Like I thought that was a miss. That's just me. I know he's having a great year, but I look at the slides and I just think there were better options. I could be mistaken. It's all subjective. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that one's tricky. I mean, you got to look at like Trae Young. I think he was what a lot of people were pointing to was a huge snub.
LaMelo Ball.
LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be one of those things where people just place a lot of value on being on a winning team.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Exactly. And again, Tyler Hero is having a fantastic season. But I thought those options were a little better. But there's one other player too that I felt was shafted, but I can't remember now. My whole body is hurting. Like I have achy bones. This is like flu type stuff hitting me. I don't like it. All right, I'm gonna go get some sleep. Sophia, you are the shiznit. You rule. People can follow you on Twitter at Sophia Jones_2. Anything you'd like to promote before as we call it a night?
Promote. I would just say check out Unrivaled. Honestly, it's really refreshing to see competitive basketball where every single play and possession is, very fast paced and just people out there getting buckets. So, yeah.
There you go. Beautiful. And again, we do this every Monday, either at 3 p.m. Pacific time or after a game. This was supposed to be a short show. This was my fault. I'm sorry. We went long. All right, we're done. I'm going to go to bed. Sophia, you rule. And thank you. Thank you to the audience. Sincerely, as always, this doesn't exist without you. I'm forever grateful and appreciative. Sincerely, I mean that. And otherwise, see you soon. Go Warriors. Congratulations to the Dubs. One game above 500. Let's hope a trade happens soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.